The San Jose Sharks host the Boston Bruins in the Who Can Get Their Life Together game. Here's what you need to know.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. If you want to be an everyday, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we'll continue our YouTube exclusive game day previews as we get you ready for tonight's game. The Sharks host the Boston Bruins in what is very much a who can get their life together game, as both these teams are in very similar situations. Both have gone 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. Of course, the Sharks coming off a throttling, we'll say, by the Hurricanes 3-1, in which the Hurricanes shut down the Sharks offense. And the Bruins lost in Vegas to the Golden Knights 5-1 the other night as well. So both these teams are not in great positions. The Sharks have lost 2 in a row. The Bruins have lost 4 in a row, and both desperately needing a win. So let's see how these two teams stack up. The Bruins are 30-31-9. The Sharks 18-42-9. The Bruins offensively 2.67 goals per game, 27th. Goals allowed 3.21, 24th. The power play 14.8%, 29th in the NHL. And then the PK at 76.2%, 24th. For the Sharks, 2.58 goals per game, 30th, 3.68 goals allowed, 32nd, power play 19.5, 22nd, and then the PK is at 74.5, 26th. Pastrnak leads the Bruins in everything, 34 goals, 50 assists, 84 points. It's actually pretty astounding, the difference between Pastrnak and then the next closest scorer is like 40 points back from him. So Pastrnak doing it all for the Bruins. Toffoli continually leads the Sharks 25 goals, Macklin with 35 assists, and Celebrini with 50 points. So how these two teams match up, it's really a lot closer than you would expect. Both these teams struggle on offense, generating shot attempts. We'll say the Bruins do have a slight edge, a little bit of an edge when it comes to like quality. Like their 5-on-5 expected goals for is kind of middle of the pack, but they just struggle with scoring, with finishing. Both the power plays are pretty even here. Defensively, like the Bruins are willing to give up shot attempts. The goaltending does kind of save them a little bit, but this is a game where like this is much more even on paper than you would initially expect kind of going into this game. The Bruins really have just fallen off a cliff here this season. Their 5-on-5 goals compared to the past couple of seasons, like just really have just cratered this year. They're 24th in point percentage, 7th in their division when it comes to points. Really, the only thing they can kind of do is goals against, like not too baddish, and the goalie is average, but which is not what you'd expect. Like with Swayman, Swayman, who's generally one of the best goalies in the league, this year has really fallen off. So how they lined up: Geeky, Zaka, Pastrnak, first line; Kepka, Middlestat, and Letary, second line; Kustadinov, Lindholm, Lauko on the third; Beecher, Kastelik, and Brown on the fourth. Keep an eye on Kastelik because definitely is a guy who willing to drop the gloves there. Zadorov and Jakaharju. I practiced it too. Jakaharju. I practiced it. I promise I practiced it. First pairing defenseman. Lahiri, Peak, second. And then Witherspoon and Mitchell. And then Swayman and Korpisalo are the goalies. So normally we talk about kind of what to expect and stuff, but let me just let you in on how it's going for our good friends over at Locked On Bruins with this clip that Ian shared recently. So yeah, this is it's not going well for our friends over there. So here, enjoy.
A couple weeks ago, my niece handed me a note, and I at first thought it was going to say, "Uncle Ian, you're the best. You're so funny." But what it read is Boston Bruins poopy. And Boston Bruins actually crossed out. Now, we live in Southern Ontario, so obviously my niece, Clara, has been somewhat indoctrinated into Leafs fandom. But she's not wrong. The Boston Bruins are indeed poopy, and last night they were very poopy indeed. And might I argue, they're kind of poopy on purpose at the moment. Clara, very insightful hockey analysis.
So yeah, the Bruins poopy. We as Sharks fans know the poopy life as well. So I do think for this game, right? Kind of breaking down the actual nuts and bolts, because this game on paper is kind of like very, very even match. And I know the Sharks have lost the last couple games and playing against some tough teams, right? The Carolina Hurricanes throttled the Sharks, and then like Washington, same thing, kind of throttled. But going before that, like the Sharks had played some pretty decent hockey. And even in those games, they at moments played pretty decent hockey. So I think whichever team can establish their game early, I think has an opportunity to win this game. And for the Sharks, the PK, which has been bad lately for the most part, has started to string together a couple solid games here. So I do think that's if they can continue to string some solid games here. But I want to see the first power play unit shine, because this is a real opportunity for it to do so against a Bruins penalty kill, which is not very good, just like the Sharks. But with Cagnoni, I don't think they're going to see the same type of pressure that they saw against the Hurricanes. I want to see that first line power play really start to generate and score. To be honest, like I want to see that them generate offense and score and really put the pressure on the Bruins here. So that's the kind of the biggest thing I'm watching for is the special teams battle in here, because it definitely in a game like this where both teams are so evenly matched, it usually does come down to special teams. Can the Sharks PK continue to get some momentum that it's had recently? And can the power play with Cagnoni, now that the first game's kind of out of the system, can he generate the kind of take this power play to the next level, which has a lot of, it does have a lot of intriguing pieces. So I am kind of honed in on that. The other thing too is, of course, Alex Wennberg he's expected to be a game time decision. According to Shang Peng, he does feel like it's most likely going to play. Can we see this top six, which struggled mightily against the Hurricanes? You're going to have some more. You're just going to have more ice. So, like, can they generate and can these top six create sustainable offense? And I do think this is actually a game the Sharks win. Put me down for a 4-2 Sharks win. I think the power play gets going in this game. I think Cagnoni scores his first point. I'm just going to keep saying that until Cagnoni scores his first point. And then I do think Macklin gets on track. Macklin had a tough game against the Hurricanes, and in Macklin's short career, it does feel like every time he has a down game, he bounces back with a big one. I think Macklin has a big game against the Bruins, and really, just nice little reminder. I know all the Lane Hudson talk, et cetera, et cetera. I think Macklin comes out and has a big game against the Bruins. So put me down for a 4-2 victory over the Bruins, and the Sharks feel better about themselves, at least for, going into another kind of 4-5 days off since they don't play again until next Thursday. So we'll recap this game on your next episode of Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well.